The film opens with a tense biggest robbery. Ewan is working undercover as a bodyguard for Harry as they travel to a bank transporting a briefcase of Semtex explosives. The men are being followed by two terrorists, S and Paul. When they are brazenly ambushed by a masked gunman in hotel lobby, Ewan is shot and wounded. S incapacitates Ewan, kills Harry and takes the briefcase containing the powerful explosives. However, Ewan manages to shoot S in the arm before losing consciousness. But somehow S manages to escape and arrives at a place where he opens his suitcase. Inside this case is Semtex. It's the material used for making bombs. He removes the Semtex, dividing it into 3 to 4 jackets. He assembles 3 to 4 bombs right there. A few people approach S, the jackets that had the bombs inside them. They grab those specific jackets and depart from that spot. Afterwards, we are shown a restaurant somewhere. A girl is busy talking with her parents. But a man suddenly arrives there. He has on that same jacket, the jacket S had modified, the one he rigged with the bomb. This man then pushes a button. A truly massive explosion happens there. Subsequently, this event is broadcast across all news channels. And Ivan, who we know, he also learns about this development. He learns that the location where the bombing occurred. We then see Charlotte. She is with Scott. He works alongside her. Scott mentions that the elections are approaching, and many disturbances are occurring in the city. It is now your duty to halt all these disturbances. Charlotte subsequently summons Ivan. Ivan is introduced there to a man named Mark. Charlotte explains that Mark is assigned to work with you. The terrorists utilized our stolen Semtex to create bomb explosions. This is why I need you to apprehend all those terrorists. And here Ewan also mentioned these assassins have killed his wife and son. Now he will erase them. She also says to take Mark along. He is an excellent shooter. She also reveals that at that time, Harry's gun had no bullets. Ivan is stunned hearing this. So he begins investigating his case. He first goes to Emma and attempts to ask Emma who she works for and why she removed the bullet from Harry's weapon. She then begins to explain. Emma says that a man had paid me money. I was instructed to watch Harry and report any information about Harry to him. But I supplied him with false information. He also gave me additional money. This was so I would remove the bullet from Harry's weapon. And I did exactly that. We find Ash sitting somewhere. He then runs into a girl named Kat there. The two of them swap their numbers. And we learn that they are old acquaintances. Ash says to Kat then that he will see her again. And having said this, he departs from there. Meanwhile, Ivan is also busy. They learned about that man's identity from Emma. So they have Emma go to that man's apartment. And Emma informs the man that she requires some money. That is the reason I came to you. And she signals by opening the door that this man is present. And so Ivan and Mark breach that man's apartment from there. In here, that man begins acting intimate with Emma. But just then Ivan arrives. This man, however, is very quick, so he kills the light and murders Emma using a knife and flees from the apartment. Afterwards, Ivan and Mark begin searching for this man. Mark checks outside, and Ivan heads upstairs. And that man was concealed up here. He abruptly ambushes Ivan, and he tries pushing Ivan back and shutting the door. But Ivan is holding a knife in his hand, and as a result he stabs the man, and then he finishes that man off using a gun. Because of this, the man dies, and thus they eliminated one terrorist. We find Ivan and Mark sitting nearby. Ivan is currently reading the newspaper. The story in the newspaper is that terrorists attacked a location, and during that attack, a college student was also murdered, and Ivan becomes furious here. And he asks Mark what that girl had done to them. And he vows that I will hunt them down one by one, even if they are hiding. Just then Charlotte calls. She says there is a file waiting in the Dropbox. So the two of them head to a library, and they meet a woman there. That woman hands the file over to Mark. This file contains information about a location, that some terrorists are at that location, and the place where the terrorists are. That property is not registered in anyone's name. This is how the mission for these two begins. And they arrive at that address. They find that only a single person is present. This man's name is Yusuf, and Ivan captures this man. This man begins to scream and pleads that please do not kill me. I am just like you, and just try to hear me out. But Ivan ignores him completely and pours oil onto this man. And then he lights this man on fire and walks away. And Ivan and Mark meet Charlotte afterwards. Charlotte reveals that the man you murdered, that man was not associated with any gang. He was only a normal civilian. Ivan now feels he has committed a transgression. Charlotte just says to forget these things. Perhaps the target received word of your approach. This is why you must both be much more careful. Afterwards, we find Ash meeting Kat, and they are seeing each other after quite a while. Kat inquires about Ash's mother. Ash then replies that his mom has passed away. Then Ash leans in and kisses Kat. We are then shown a flashback from 6 years prior. We see Ash. He was being intimate with Kat, and we realize that they were friends in college. And back then Ash was attending college. And Ash was willing to do whatever it took for his community's people. This is why he would debate with people during class. Ash looked up to those people who do important things for us. And this is why Ash encounters a man named Nabil. Nabil says that you are an exceptionally gifted person, and I would like you to attend my meeting sometime. We hold very productive meetings. We are working to protect our community, and you must support our cause. Ash agrees to this proposal, and Ash walks into the bar that very evening. But his girlfriend, Kat, she was there with another guy, and Ash does not like this one bit. But Kat explains that I am just 23 years old, and I enjoy hanging out with guys, so do not try to stop me. And this causes Ash to fight with that guy, the guy who brought Kat out, and this results in Ash beating that guy severely. And this is when Nabil arrives. He takes Ash away with him. Ash attends the meeting with Nabil. Nabil instructs the crowd to save their community. Ash says that I do not want to be calm, but I want to emulate those who kill people. Because if we remain passive, then other people will enslave us. Then we will be completely useless. And Nabil meets with Ash later. Ash then tells Nabil that I cannot join you, because you are doing things that mislead people. You care only about your religion. Nabil then says that if we fail to do this, then we will be enslaved and it will happen fast. So Ash goes to his girlfriend Kat. Kat is still asleep, and he informs her that starting today we must never see each other, because I will now concentrate on my work. And he ends things with Kat and walks away. The narrative returns to the present time. Ash is currently doing Nabil's bidding, and he is approaching large corporations. This is so he can recruit those firms into his organization. But the man who owns the company declines. Glenn reports back to Nabil and explains that the businessman would not agree. Nabil informs Ash that he has an assignment. We know of a sergeant called Glenn. He murdered our associates, people we were close to. This is why I need you to pass this trial. In other words, eliminate that man. Ash replies here that fine, I will accept your mission. Nabil also mentions that someone will assist you with this task. He is an expert in this specific field. So anything he instructs you to do, you must obey him. And then an individual named Amin arrives. He introduces himself to Ash. His methods are very different. They formulate their plan that evening. And note that the sergeant resides in the countryside. His family, wife and children are present too. So they head out to the fields. And the associate who is alongside Ash, he moves in to eliminate that sergeant. But the sergeant is exceptionally tough, so he ends up killing Ash's associate. Ash goes looking afterwards to check on his friend. But he discovers that his friend is now dead, and the sergeant is currently fleeing from the scene. This causes Ash to pursue the sergeant, and he overtakes the sergeant at a location, and he murders him. Ash then goes to inspect the house. He discovers that his wife and children are present, but Ash keeps this information from Amin. But Amin is extremely shrewd, so he proceeds into the room, the place the sergeant's wife and children were located, and Amin murders them right there. And these men secure the sergeant to a spot. They record a video of this, and Amin puts on a mask and brutally mutilates the sergeant. And this creates an uproar across the entire nation. They learn that the sergeant was assassinated, and his wife and children were also murdered. The moment Ash learns this, he feels terrible, because he never intended to harm that wife and children. Ash gets furious with Amin over this, and even threatens his life. Amin replies that the men who murdered our comrades, we are only getting retribution from them, and we are doing nothing beyond that, and we must show no mercy when eliminating those people. Ash subsequently goes to see his uncle Nabil, and informs Nabil that he murdered the wife and child too, and I never wanted that to happen. Nabil replies here that he is a professional assassin, and whatever he decides, he will execute it correctly. So do not interfere. Ash meets Nabil again. Nabil reveals that our associate, whose name was Amin, he has been apprehended, so you must be extremely cautious. You must create a diversion for those people. So Ash recruits a different man, and instructs him that you just need to do one task, and we watch Ivan and Mark arrive at the location, where they believe Ash is hiding, and Ash is waiting there on his motorcycle, and the decoy whom Ash has recruited, he bolts the instant he spots Ivan there. So Ivan and Mark assume that this must be the real Ash, and Ash escapes from the area, and he spots Ivan as well, and the decoy who had fled from there. They shoot him dead. Ash later heads directly to Kat. Kat explains that I was riding the train. I felt so frightened. I worried there might be a bomb on the train. And she adds that I wish the people who plant these bombs would be killed. And Ash feels awful hearing her say this. This is why he leaves Kat by herself there. And Ash heads directly to Nabil. And he asks Nabil, when can I be free? I am weary of doing this job. I wish to live my own life. Nabil replies that you just need to complete one final task, and I will provide you all the details concerning it tomorrow. After that, you will be done. And then we cut to Mark and Ivan. They both check into a hotel, and they begin to get some rest. But late in the night, where Ivan is asleep, an assault occurs, and it is nobody else attacking him. In reality, Mark, who is right there. And Ivan questions Mark immediately. Who employed you? But Mark remains silent. But before long, Ivan kills Mark. Next, we see Ash, who sits before a camera. He is recording his own video. In it, he delivers a message to the public. He is stating that individuals like me will perish, but thousands more will rise up. You might silence my voice, but you cannot silence the voices of thousands. And what belongs to us, we will reclaim. I have committed many terrible deeds, but I feel no remorse for them. And if I remain alive, I will keep doing these types of actions in the times ahead. Then Ivan arrives at a wedding reception. This was the celebration for an Englishman's wedding. Ivan then gets information that Ash is also attending this event. And Ivan spots Ash there, and sprints to apprehend him. And Ivan intercepts Ash. A very protracted fight breaks out between the two. But Ash manages to wound Ivan and escapes from him, and grabs a firearm. And from there he gets to the area where the reception was held, where all the attendees were dining. And Ash had rigged a bomb here. And just as he was prepared to push the bomb's trigger, just then Ivan appears from behind, who shoots Ash the moment he arrives. Because of this, Ash dies, and a massive attack is prevented, and Ivan walks away from there. And the moment Ivan steps outside of the hotel, a truly huge blast occurs inside that hotel. And we learn that Ash had also prepared a secondary plan. He had rigged a bomb inside a suitcase, and many people are killed in this gathering. Ivan cannot comprehend anything. What is going on around me? Elsewhere, we witness a soldier's funeral inside a church. The soldier's family is also in attendance. Ivan is also present there. A young man approaches to speak with Ivan, and he says that after you departed the regiment, things in the regiment were never the same again. And I constantly think back to that one accident. Ivan then replies to forget all those things and move on. And Ivan, saying only that, walks away. Ivan still possesses that man's coat, the man he had doused with oil. A note is inside this man's coat, on which locker number 34 is written. This is why Ivan heads to a bank and accesses the locker number 34, inside which are several files and some videos. And in this recording, that man is speaking, that I have been working to stop terrorism. And I have also learned the identity of those people. and I was operating undercover here for the last 3 years. And when I went to meet my handler actually attempted to kill me. My life is in serious jeopardy. So please help save me. And the moment Ivan watches this video, he realizes what the truth is. This is why he heads directly to Charlotte, and he brings all of these files and confronts Charlotte that I have discovered that you were responsible for this. You were the one who sent me on that mission. So Mark could eliminate me, and I would not return alive. The man that I captured and burned alive. He was also an operative just like me, and he was in hiding from people like you. Charlotte then admits that all this is true. Ivan states that I serve my country. I will not ever serve people like you. And using a knife, he murders Charlotte and walks away from there. And that is how this movie